Hi, Mike. Welcome.
Hi.
Gussie. To meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Mike Richards. I run the Treasury Recruitment Company. I'm here at the AFP conference because they also get me to speak, which is fantastic. I also host a podcast, Treasury Career Corner, where I talk to treasurers each and every week about how they started their careers, where they are now, and where they see both themselves and the profession going to next. Done that for 400 plus episodes. Recently had Global Treasurer for Amazon, Tony Masola, on the show. So we talk to everyone at all levels, but it's something to help. And you're here on the Nyla stand because these guys sponsor us for our live events and very grateful for the support.
Yeah. So you've been in Treasury for 30 years.
30 years of treasury improvement. Yeah, I know.
And
Couldn't do anything else.
what are the biggest trends that you're seeing right now?
I think technology is obviously top of mind because, 3-5 years ago it was blockchain. Oh, wow. And blockchain's good. It's still being used, supply chain finance and stuff. But actually technology now, and you guys have shown it through the AI stuff and all this, we did a session yesterday, did a session today. It's about data, it's about analytics, but then bolting on all the new technology. For garbage in, garbage out. I interviewed Doug Jennings from Lowe's, home goods, homewares or whatever it was, or house building and things like that. And he was saying data and analytics is the key thing for them, but it's what do you want to do with that data? It's all very well having a great AI forecast or help you, but remember, if you're putting in average stuff, you're going to get average result. I've talked about if you go onto ChatGPT, for example, and you say, mate, I want a sandwich like this. Remember, you're going to get the average, and it's going to be distinctly average. You want a really good sandwich, you might say, hey, Jamie Oliver, Gordon Ramsay, what would they make? It would be a totally different sandwich. So again, with cash forecasting and all that, how do you want that to look like? Have that in mind. So that's one of the key things. I think the other thing is in recruitment terms, people have started to say, what's the market been like? Obviously with, back a while ago, tariffs made the market really slow because traders aren't risk averse, they're risk aware. Yeah. But if they don't have to move, why would they move? Now we're starting to see people moving around the market. US in particular is getting a lot busier. UK is following it a little bit. Europe still a bit sluggish, but we are getting busier, both myself and my colleagues, Katie.
So that's actually a good segue. I mean, how do you see the role of the treasurer changing lately, and how would it be in 3 years?
How it's going to be in 3 years, I don't know. We didn't have AI 2 years ago. I was like, whoa, suddenly it gave a look. So where it's going to be, I think people ask me about treasurers, are they going to be tech gurus and things? And no, they never have been. That's not been their job. I think technology and then being translators of that, they sit between everything. They sit between your tech guys and then wanting the results, and you've got your treasurers trying to then help convert it for their CFO to make sense, and not just here are the numbers, boss, and here's the forecast. Yeah, but does that forecast help our business?
Yeah.
Does it add value? And I think that treasurers have always been in small teams. I think that's always been a challenge. They've been asked to do more with less. Now they've got the opportunity to do it with things like AI and technology. But is that going to help them? There's a lot of noise at the moment. I think hearing through that noise, that's one of the toughest challenges.
Are there any new skills you think the treasurers of tomorrow will need to have?
I think probably that so I do the podcast. I've done now 7 years, 400 plus episodes, and that's given me a real insight. I made this joke when I was at banking do. I said, I used to be a good recruiter. Now I'm a bloody great recruiter. They're like, really? I was like, a bit conceited, but no, because I've heard 450 of you and your tales, and ask them. So I'll go back to them. And what they're telling me is that, in the past, I said, right, you now manage this team. Who's trained you as a treasurer? No one. During the army, someone would have trained you all the way through and stuff. Treasurers have become accidental managers. That's getting better. If you like, I'm seeing more treasurers and treasury professionals getting more training. They're managing teams more effectively. And the ones that are better managers and better coaches, you see them rising to the top of the industry, really.
For any aspiring treasurers, people who are looking for good resources to become better, to learn about the industry, to learn about the opportunities in the industry, what would you recommend?
Go to treasuryrecruitment.com, go to our podcast, but and again, one of the nice things, Treasury Career Corner. I do that because I love doing the podcast. Thought we do 10, we've done 400. But we also get CTP credits. And I think we're obviously here at the home of AFP and everything else. And they're wholehearted. I had the CEO of the AFP on the show, and he's really passionate. Pat is really he wants to help the younger guys come up and really develop in treasury terms and everything else. I think then it's not just words from them as well. They're really doing it to help the profession. So I think listen to the podcast, do your studies, and coming to events like this are just off the charts, really.
One of the things that we heard yesterday, and I found it to be very interesting during our panel.
Yeah.
One of the panelists said that Treasury is not a word that is mentioned in universities. So what do you think about that?
I think this is what they're trying to change. And this is one of the things, they've got this program with Kelly University and things. And I had Jim Cates on, the previous CEO, and he had a passion to get out there to the universities. And that's where, when I started, I would go to a dinner party and said, so you're a treasury recruiter, so you recruit for the government, right? I was like, no, not that kind of treasury. I was like, banking and financial services. Oh yeah, I don't do banking. Oh, what do you do? And I said, right, you got a treasurer. They look after the money today and the future. And as you say, they don't have that. And it's getting more well known in UK universities. They're starting to hear about treasury, but sometimes it's just a mini element of it. And I think that, you've got qualifications in the UK, you've got qualifications here. I think that's a great way to do it. And, there's more online stuff as well you can do. But yeah, it's something that they're developing as well. So it's a work in progress, should we say.